What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this beautiful Monday. I'm doing pretty good myself, and I hope you guys had a very nice, relaxing weekend. Mine went well, but as usual, it goes too fast, okay? So here we are here on this Monday, all right? Look, I come across this particular situation right here. Some of you may already be aware of about San Francisco Slavery-Reparations Idea. $5 million per black person in San Francisco, okay? Now, if they were to actually pass this bill and black people in San Francisco will get $5 million, then more than likely this is going to catch like wildfire and spread through the entire United States of America, all right? And I'll believe it when I see it, okay? But let's just say if it were to happen, I can guarantee you guys the devil is in the details, because he never gives anything without a hitch, if you understand what I'm saying. So what I want to do is go through this particular article, all right? And then afterwards, I want to show you why I say the devil is in the details. You understand? Now, I want to show you guys a video, in other words. All right. Something that's happening in Ontario, I think Ontario, Canada, as we speak. Now to get into this article right here, it says, of course, in San Francisco, payments of $5 million to every eligible black adult, the elimination of personal debt and tax burdens, guaranteed annual income of at least $97,000 for 250 years, and home in San Francisco for just $1 a family. Okay, there are just some of the recommendations. These are some of the recommendations made by a city-appointed reparations committee tasked with a thorny question: what would it take to atone for the centuries of U.S. slavery and generations of systematic racism that continue to keep black Americans on the bottom rungs of health, education, and economic prosperity, and overrepresented in prisons and homeless populations? A first hearing before the city's Board of Supervision on Tuesday could offer a glimpse of the board's appetite for advancing a reparations plan that would be unmatched nationwide in specificity and breadth. Okay, critics have slammed it as financially and politically impossible. One conservative analyst estimated that each non-black family in the city would have to pay at least $600,000. And of course, they are going to slam this as it's impossible and all that kind of stuff, right? But it's never impossible when you got the war over in Ukraine, you understand? And they're sending, I'm telling you, ungodly amounts of money and weaponry over to Ukraine, and any other situation that they may want to fund. It's always impossible to give reparations. This is the reason why I'll believe it when I see it. Because they just want to kick the can down the road. They don't give a damn about paying us what is owed to us. But, they figured that they're not going to pay anyway, because they know they damn, by the Most High standard, this is biblical right here. By the most High standards, they know they are damned anyway, so they figure, well, why pay? But I digress. Let's continue. Says here, some supervisors have said San Francisco can't afford any major reparations payments right now, given the city's deep deficit amid a tech industry downturn. But they still want to discuss the proposal and consider future solutions. The board can vote to change, adopt, or reject any or all the recommendations. But reparations committee members consider their results to be an accurate estimate of what it would take to begin to repair the enduring damage of slavery and discrimination. And they bristle at the idea that they should figure out how to pay for it. Okay, we are, we are the harmed, said Eric McDonald, chair of San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee. If the judge ruled in our favor, the judge would not turn to us and say, help them figure out how to make this work. Okay? They know how to make it work. They know how to make everything else work. They just don't want to make it work. Okay? But to continue, the idea of paying compensation for slavery has gained traction across cities and universities. In 2020, California became the first state to form a reparations task force and is still struggling to put a price tag on what it is owed. Okay? Let's get something understood. No amount of money can ever repair the damages of the blood that was shed in so-called slavery. It's not, but it is a start in restitution for the crimes committed against our people. It is a start. All right. Now to continue, the ideal has not been taken up at the federal level. Fewer than 50,000 black people still live in San Francisco, and it's not clear how many would be eligible. Possible criteria include having lived in the city during certain time periods and descending from someone incarcerated for the failed war on drugs. Okay. Now, they say failed war on drugs, but let's not forget who brung the drugs in. Ain't nobody black brung no drugs nowhere. You understand? You better start looking at your CIAs and FBIs and all that kind of stuff. Okay? Yeah, that's just what it is. But I digress. To continue, critics say the payouts make no sense in a state and city that never enslaved black people. Opponents generally say taxpayers who were never slave owners, who were never slave owners, should not have to pay money to people who were not enslaved. Advocates say that few ignores a wealth of data and historical evidence showing how long after U.S. slavery officially ended in 1865, government policies and practices worked to imprison black people at higher rates, denying access to home and business loans, and restrict where they could work and live. There's still a veiled perspective that, candidly, black folks don't deserve this, said McDonald. The number itself, $5 million, is actually low when you consider the harm. Okay, well, y'all gonna pay one way or another anyway, because those that, as the Most High's word says, those that lead into captivity shall be put into captivity. I can't remember the verse verbatim, but that's what it says. And also those who shed blood, their blood shall be shed. So you're gonna pay one way or the other. It's up to you how you choose to. But from the way the Most High words, say, well, you're gonna pay. I'm gonna just put it like that. Let's continue. Justin Hansford, professor at Howard University School of Law, says no municipal reparations plan will have enough money to right the wrongs of slavery, but he appreciates any attempts to genuinely, legitimately, authentically make things right. And that includes cash, he said. If you're going to try to say you're sorry, you have to speak in the language that people understand, and money is that language, he said. I have to agree with him. Okay, that's true. Restitution is what it's all about. Okay, but black residents once made up more than 13% of San Francisco's population, but more than 50 years later, they account for less than 6% of the city's residents and 38% of its homeless population. The Fillmore District once thrived with black-owned nightclubs and shops until government development in the 1960s forced out residents. Okay, John Dennis, chair of the San Francisco Republican Party, does not support reparations, although he says he'd support a serious conversation on the topic. What does that have to do with what? Man, get out of here with that mess. To continue, he doesn't consider the board's discussion of $5 million payouts to be one. This conversation we're having in San Francisco is completely unserious. They just threw a number up. There's no analyst, Dennis said. It seems ridiculous, and it is also seems that this is the one city where it could possibly pass. Okay. Lead by supervision Shaman Walton. The board created the 15-member reparations committee in late 2020, months after California Governor Gavin Newsom approved a statewide task force amid national turmoil after a white Minneapolis police officer killed George Floyd, a black man. Okay. And, for these ones that continue getting on here talking about, well, we never enslaved nobody or whatever. Yeah, well, y'all ancestors did, and y'all are living on the wealth, the stolen wealth, that was on the blacks of so-called slave people, enslaved folks. So this is why you got to pay. You're going to pay one way or the other. Okay? Now to continue, at Tuesday's hearing, the board could direct staff to conduct further research, write legislations, or schedule more meetings. The committee's final report is due in June. California's task force continues to deliberate recommendations, including monetary compensations. Its report is due to the legislature on July 1st. At that point, it will be up to the lawmakers to draft and pass legislations, often a time-consuming process. Okay? Yeah. The state panel made the controversial decision in March to limit reparations to descendants of black people who were in the country in the 19th century. Some reparations advocates said that approach misses the ongoing harms that black immigrants suffer. Under San Francisco's draft recommendations, a person must be at least 18 years old and have identified as black, African American in public documents for at least 10 years. Eligible people must also meet 2 of 8 other criteria. Through the list may change. Though the list may change. Wow, I don't know how I did that. But anyway, those criteria including being born in or migrating to San Francisco between 1940 and 1996 and living in the city for at least 13 years. Being displaced from San Francisco by urban renewal between 1954 and 1973. Or the descendant of someone who was attending the city's public schools before they were fully desegregated, or being a descendant of an enslaved U.S. person before 1865. In conclusion of this long-ass article, it says here, the Chicago suburb of Evanston became the first U.S. city to fund reparations. The city gave money to qualifying people for home repairs, down payments, and interest or late penalties due on property in the city. In December, the Boston City Council approved of reparations study task force. Okay. Now, look, if they were to pass this and no strings were attached That would be beautiful. Like I said, it's a start for restitution. But keep in mind, like I always say, people, the devil is in the details. And this is why I say that. Listen to this particular TikTok video and you'll understand.
So this is a bit of an emergency broadcast regarding the digital IDs. Yesterday in Canada, Justin Trudeau met with all of our provincial premiers and basically told them that we will not be able to get funding for our healthcare unless the premiers agree to the digital IDs. I will show all the proof. Now, those of you who think that digital IDs are great, they are not. Let me show you what these digital IDs will actually entail when it comes to control. Here's an overview basically of everything that will be included in the digital IDs. This can be found on the WEF website and also on all of the provincial and government websites. You will have healthcare. You will not be able to access any healthcare without this digital ID. Financial system. You will actually not even be able to carry out bank accounts or carry out anything online regarding financial transactions. Food and sustainability. This says for farmers and consumers. You will not be able to get into stores. You will not be able to even sell anywhere. Once they have this system in place, this is where the digital currency will come in. Travel and mobility. We saw that with the Arrive Scam app. Humanitarian responses, which is basically just garbage. It's in case something happens, they will be able to track and find you, including if you don't want anything injected in your body. E-commerce. You will not be able to shop online. Then you have social media platforms. You will literally need this ID in order to get TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook. No more fake accounts. You have e-government. So if you want your taxes done, any sort of benefits from there, you will need this. Then it gets even scarier. Telecommunications. You will not be able to actually get an internet provider without this digital ID, and they will be able to track you. And then up there you have smart cities, and we all know what those are. Those of you who think I'm lying, here's the federal condition. In order for us to access our money, our tax money, this is basically a hostage situation of our tax money. And what you will see is instigators, government instigators under Twitter, under Justin Trudeau, that basically say we need to push our provincial governments to, get the money so that we can spend it better. No, we don't. We actually need to call our provincial governments right now, today and tomorrow, and every single day until they scrap this digital ID. They cannot pass this without our approval. So I need everybody in Canada to call your provincial governments and literally tell them that this is not going to happen. If we need to privatize, if we need to somehow get into a different system of healthcare, we need to do that. As for everyone in the United States, you're kind of lucky because your healthcare is privatized. There's also a lot more internet providers, some that will not go along with it because of capitalism. So your money is actually speaking a lot louder in the United States, but Canada, this is coming down the pipeline, and it's coming down the pipeline fast, and we need to act.
Damn, those TikTokers, y'all need to learn not to have y'all music louder than the person that's speaking, man. That is annoying, okay? But yeah, this is what I was talking about when it comes down to the devil being into the details. In other words, if they were to give this reparations to either one of us throughout the whole entire United States, of America, it's going to come with a hitch. And that's what you just saw her talking about. Digital IDs to access your digital currency. Meaning that you will probably, more than likely, have to have the MOTB. And I don't know. That's not going to happen. So, you know what I mean? We'll see how this whole entire things with reparations and all that stuff play out. But I can tell you this, I really, really don't see it happening. And if it does happen, like I said, the hitch is coming along with it, okay? So I want you guys to tell me what you think about this particular situation right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, the Cash App is in the description box. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.